Well, thank the Lord for Chase Pender and Jordan Green. The game could have been a lot different if not for those two great defensive plays in the second inning. Bases loaded, Jordan Green makes a great play on the fly ball down the line, to keep them from scoring. And then Pender robs what would have been a grand slam. So just two great defensive plays right there. They scored two in the third. It could have been 6-0. At that point, but it wasn't. They gave us a fighting chance because of their great defensive plays on a day where we didn't necessarily play our best defense. But you look at the at-bats that we had in the fourth and the fifth. We had 6 great at-bats in a row, capped off by Green's 2-strike double down the line to give us a big inning. We scored 4 runs, kind of broke it open there in the fourth inning. And then in the fifth with 2 outs, a hit by pitch to Williams, back-to-back 3-2 count walks where we won those at-bats. And then Robert Jolly with the big double scored 2 runs. So, overall, we pitched pretty good. Defense was good enough. And, again, we had a nice day at the plate where we swung the bats and took advantage of some walks, had some 2-out hits and did some things. Played a pretty good baseball game, and it's always good to finish on a high note on the weekend. So great weekend, and got a tough week ahead of us. Got to turn right back around, get ready for Charleston Southern on Tuesday. Then we go to Tallahassee. We all know how tough it is to win in Tallahassee. So got a big week ahead of us. Guys need to rest, recover a little bit, enjoy what's always a great thing when you sweep a series, but we also got to keep things in perspective and get re-energized and ready for a big week.
What did you say to your guys after Virginia Tech took the 2-0 lead there in the third?
You know what I told them? I just told them, I said, hey, look, guys, we've made a few errors. We're hitting some balls on the end of the bat. It has nothing to do with hustle or focus. It's baseball. And all I was really trying to do is just make sure that they weren't getting frustrated because we didn't make a couple plays. I just wanted to make sure that the guys understood that, hey, these things happen. We've been here plenty of times before. Just relax. Let's put together good at-bats. We talked a little bit about what their starting pitcher was doing to us and what type of adjustments we needed to try to make at the plate. We were hitting a lot of balls on the end of the bat. He was commanding his changeup early in the game. So we tried to change our focus a little bit at the plate and what we were looking for and just made some adjustments. And the kids did a good job of adjusting to him and not letting early physical mistakes, which they were. Physical mistakes are going to happen. Not letting physical mistakes early in the ball game affect them. And Pat did an unbelievable job of not letting it affect him. So he just kept trying to pound strikes and letting the defense work behind him. We faced some adversity early, and the guys kept their cool, kept their focus, stayed relaxed, and just kept plugging away.
Probably seen guys rob guys of home runs, but have you ever seen a grand slam rob?
I've never seen a grand slam rob, and I can remember a couple of amazing catches in my career as a coach. I've never seen a catch that good. I mean, that was unbelievable. And quite frankly, if he doesn't catch that ball, that's a grand slam. That's a big inning right there in the second inning. And they scored 2 runs in the third. I mean, it's really tough to come back from a big inning, period. You give up a big inning in any inning of a ball game, it's really tough to recover from that. But, Pender's just one of those guys at the end of the day. And if you got a guy like Chase Pender on your team, he really, really helps you win in a lot of different ways.
Coach, short 1 out of work for Hennessy there. Did you just want to save him with the short rest coming up?
No, I didn't really think about it that way. We were really looking at it more from a matchup standpoint. We just wanted to get him in there. When they pinch hit and brought in Monte, to hit the left-hander, we had Hennessy getting ready, and we brought him in to face the left-hander. And then after that, we felt like the bottom of the order at that point, we felt like the better matchup was to bring in Andrews, who's got a good slider, versus 3 right-handed hitters or 4 right-handed hitters in a row who are better versus lefties. The guy on deck had 3 hits versus Crawl. So we didn't want him. We did not want him to see a 4th at bat versus a left-handed pitcher. We wanted to make sure he saw a right-hander. We certainly did. Cox had a good day, scored a run, drove in 2, hit the big, single. So I was a little frustrated by that, I have to admit. But Robert Jolly, great day, drove in 2, had 2 hits, almost had a 3rd hit. Shortstop made a great play. And then Greeny, that was a huge hit. I mean, that hit right there broke the game open for us. So that was a big at bat. So overall, it's always awesome to get good production from the bottom half of the order.
Coach Seth was hit by a pitch man today. I think that's his 8th of the season, 37 walks. How much does that influence his ability to get in a rhythm?
Well, Seth's a tough kid, I mean, Seth, you think about it this way. Seth Beer, everybody knows who Seth Beer is. Every ballpark he goes to, he's got the bullseye on his back. Everybody wants to see what Seth's going to do today. So for a young man, all eyes are on him, and that dugout knows who he is, and they know that, like most power hitters, you got to try to get in there some. You can't just try to throw the ball out over the plate where he can get extended and do damage. So he gets hit because people try to pitch him in, and I think the mindset is, or it would be for me too, if I was in the other dugout, pound him in, and if you hit him, it's only one base, because if you miss, again, you keep going in there and you miss, he's going to hit one on top of the batting cage. So it's just one of those things where, for most guys, you got to try to tie them up sometimes, and if you hit them, it's just one base. So, but he does a good job of understanding our offense, of understanding that getting on base is what we do and what we try to do, and that means if you get hit by a pitch, take your base. I mean, you look at what we did, after hit by pitches. I mean, getting hit deflates the defense. It just does. I mean, it's just amazing. Watch how many times a guy gets hit by a pitch, and then what happens after that. Chris Williams gets hit by a pitch, 2 walks, boom, big inning. So it's a little bit deflating sometimes, but he understands. That's our box. When the Tigers get in the box, that's ours. We're not going to get out of the way. We're going to wear it, and we're going to go to first base. That's just what we do.
28-5, swept 3 of the 5 ACC series. Are you starting to get a feel for what kind of team you have this year now that you're past that midway point?
Yeah. I mean, I think we have a good feel for our club, and the big thing that we're just trying to do is just make sure, number one, we've been winning an awful lot, and I always want to make sure that they enjoy it and that they keep things in perspective, that even though, winning has become the norm through this season so far, we've got a lot of games to go, we got a lot of tough opponents ahead of us, but at the end of the day, you got to respect the game. And you got to respect the process of showing up every single day, being a blue-collar oriented team, working as hard as you can, staying grounded, playing hard, being a great teammate, competing as hard as you can. And, just because we've won the series on Saturday, that can't dictate how we compete on Sunday. And, because what happens is when we go through tough times, which at some point this team's going to go through tough times, we got to draw upon how hard we work and how hard we compete, because that's the only way you're going to get out of it. And so big message to our guys right now is just stay grounded, stay focused, keep competing, but also enjoy it. Enjoy when we win. We got some guys that, sometimes are a little down maybe because they had a tough day. But anytime you can win a ball game and win a series is something that you have to enjoy and appreciate. And we just got to keep working hard and stay grounded. Yep.